Hello guys, how are we doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today I have a new call-out video guide, and today, as you can see, we're going to be on Den. This is going to be fantastic for those of you who want to understand how to call out properly on a map, whether you're playing 8s, wagers, CMGs, tournaments, or you simply want to win more games on pubs. This video is going to be for you. We're going to be splitting this video into two parts. First part being all of the main call-outs that you're going to need most of the time, and then we're going to do really niche call-outs for little headies and things like that that you can use if people are sat on a very particular spot that you want to call out. For those of you who are wondering, how do I get these call-outs? Some of it's intuition, but most of it comes from watching scrims of pro teams. People who stream their scrims like Optic, I watch VODs back, I see people streaming it and playing wagers, and the call-outs they use in that, I've collated and used it in this video. That doesn't mean they're not going to change in the pro time, so if you're watching this video 2 months down the line from when I've uploaded it and things might seem different or sound different, things can evolve. So we're going to be kicking off with this side of the map, and of course let me know what map you want me to cover next. I haven't pre-recorded it anymore following today's. I think Scar might be what I do next, so if you're happy to dive into Scar next as part of this series, then make sure you let me know down in the comments below. So yeah, let's kick it off. So this area here, P3, is going to be this area. You then have connector or con. People say mid-cut, but connector or con is probably better. We then have hut, which is this little room here. We then move out to pipes. Lockers. It's called lockers because of the lockers. I try and keep it logical. So pipes because there are pipes, lockers because there are lockers, so it's easier to remember. We then go to, this is short. This little cut through here is called short. This is then gens, which actually doesn't make much sense. You could argue there's some generators, but there isn't really. This is server, if anything, but the pros seem to call it gens, so to save confusion, that's what we're going to be going with as well. We have art, which is just down here because there's a painting, although there are more paintings. This is what we're going to call art. Useless is if someone's just sitting in the corner back here. We then have tank, if someone's sat on this heady. Ammo is back here. So if people are spawning here, you can just call out that they're spawning ammo, for example. We then move up to garage or garage, depending on where you're from. And this is this area. So if someone's playing a little credit angle here, watching the P2 cross, this can be called out as garage. We then have P2, which is this whole room. We are then going to go this way, actually. This is lobby. Some people call it sofa, but this is actually what most pros are calling lobby, so that's what we're going to be running with. So lobby, because it is an entrance to a building, i.e. a lobby. We then have front lobby, P1, and then in here is red. Now some people say their lobby, our lobby, but I really like to distinguish between the two. I call this red, and that one's lobby over there. That, by the way, broken. I forgot to mention as I run past that. That is broken up there. We then move through to small, which is this room, into AS&D, or A-bomb. This then takes us to P4, which is this region here. All this decking is P4. We then head out to Dragon. I wonder why it's called that. This is red again, and then top of this building here, you can say top red, but again, that's a little bit confusing. I call this window room. Yeah, that's broken. This is window room. If someone's out here, it's then front window, but this is window room for all people needed to know. Someone's credit back here. This is called table because it is a bloody massive table. So if someone's sat here blocking spawns or whatever, you can call out table. This then moves us around to deck because it is a deck. In Australia, you'd call that a dick. We then have dojo, so we have this whole region is called dojo. So you would say dojo, back dojo, front dojo. This brings us back around to P3 through connector. I've completely missed roofs, which is where we're going to now. So this whole region is called roofs. So if you know the teams generally coming from this area, you can say they're coming from roofs. In particular, you've got inner and outer. And that's it. They're the main comms you're going to want to need when you're playing on Den, no matter the game mode. We're now going to get onto some a little bit more specific niche callouts that you might find useful if people are in a very specific area. So as I said, you've got outer, inner. This is front P2 because there's P2 in there. This is outer P2. We've pretty much covered everything back here. Go through garage towards tank. Now this can be quite a common place for people to lie down and just watch a cut or watch a little LOS if they're blocking spawns or want to play a little credit angle. Some people just like to lie down in here, and that would be called flowers. If they're sort of, you know, on these steps, you could say call out flowers because there's flowers here. Before we go up to broken, you've got this little cutout that people sometimes sit in, and this is called jail. And it's not technically a jail, but jail is a nice one-syllable communicating word that we can use. Obviously, we've got lockers and pipes. So if someone's deciding to circulate out this area, and they're coming from this region, where I am now, you can say outer pipes. That is this area, okay? Then you've got hut. Outer dojo is this little stretch of grass here, because this is the dojo, as I say, and this is outer dojo. As I say, front dojo, dojo, back dojo, dojo. It's a hard, weird word to say over and over and over again. This one's a bit of a nice one. If someone's sat here, you can really, obviously this bit's open, but people like to sit here to make sure people can't pinch P4. So the con for this is just boxes. Okay, really simply boxes or trolley, depending on where you want to go. Trolley's a bit English, so we're going to stick with boxes. And then in here we have desk. So again, quite self-explanatory. Within red we have desk, and if someone's sat here just watching this, it's a really nice call out just to get people honed in exactly where they are. And yeah, this little heady there is front red, where I am currently. That's front lobby, and I think that all of the specific bits we're probably going to need covered. This is obviously pillars, but statue. So I guess you could name each pillar, but there's not typically the need to do that. But if you want to in your team do that, you can go P is a bit confusing. You could go column, so C1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 if you really want to. If someone's like sat here, you could say, oh, they're C6 or something like that. If you get the reference, let me know. That wasn't planned. And then this is tree. So on P4, this is a very common heady for people to sit on or stand on top of. And you would call this, oh, they're on tree. And this is going to be that call out. Other than that, you've got outer P4, which is here. And then it brings us right down to the front of the map. But it's a pretty simple map, hopefully easy for you guys to understand, hopefully easy to remember. If you have any questions or any particular spots that you might change, let the guys know down below. If there's something also that I've not covered, if there's a very particular spot you see a lot of people sit on, and you're like, oh, you didn't give a name for that, what could we call that? Let me know. I probably do know of it, it's just I haven't covered it in the video. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and as I say, let me know what you want me to cover next. Ciao for now.